All right, we're just gonna go over this real quick. This is today's price action. Um, let's zoom in here. We've been kind of let's bring this over. All right, as you can see, we've been grinding higher ever since we hit this daily bigger level here. Hit that level. Ever since then, we started ripping higher. We're gonna zoom out. As you can see, this is a trend line zone. We had a very, very, very nice range. This was the Trump pause uh, candle here. This is the Trump pause price action. Came down. We found a range. Rotated below. Rotated above. Reached the above target. Rotated above. Rotated below. Just barely missed it. If not, we reached it. It depends on exactly where your range is, but it's close enough to the target there that we reached. Trendline zone, we had a range. Range could have been a little higher, so this is a zone as we reach this area. Same thing here, trendline zone. Reach that, one measured move, ignore the second, and then this is our third. We got our third up there. That is our trend-based measured moves. On our range-based measured move, we're just going to do this here just to kind of show you what I mean with a ranged-based measured move. The range-based measure move is going to be from the base of the breakout to up here. Okay, we're going to change that. We'll make this like a nice color just to have it nice and obvious. We'll do a hot pink color, right? That way you can see it on the chart. So range-based measured moves. We're looking for that breakout leg. Bring it over here to here. Where do we get? Just about the trend-based and the range-based measured move. If you do it off of the retest, okay, yeah. But, we reached objectives, right? We reached this. Let's take this move here, bring it above, rotate below, rotate above. Yeah, we reached that, right? That's this level here that we have charted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off and I'm going to show this on the chart. This is our range-based rotation. Range-based rotation. Trend rotation here. And we held above for a little bit. Then we go ahead and we grab our daily chart. Why is this significant? Let's bring our daily chart over here. Why is this significant, right? This level, this line is not structure. I put not structure here. Knowing that buyers are going to be chasing and trying to hold above here. There's not that much room for a reward because this zone is our rollover range. This zone is our rollover range. This green is our rollover range. The circle is going to be the 5 days of rollover week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Following Monday, we gapped up and we trapped up here. This is considered structure because we made a lower high before moving down. This is not structure. This is structure. Because we moved down, we came back up. This is short-term structure. This is higher time frame structure here. This is not structure. Why is that not structure? Because we made a low, we pulled back, and we didn't make a low. That's rookies chasing up here. Look at the risk to reward you have above. Do you have solid risk to reward? If you were buying here at 19,378, where do you take profits? Up here at 19,600? Sure, you get $300 profits, but it's going to be a battle, not fun price action. And then you're going to butt up against this rollover range, which clearly we rejected damn near to a tick today. Best entry of the day was trusting in that rollover range. Majority of positioning for this contract occurred here. Buyers tried and sellers said, you know what, this is good prices. We like these prices. We're going to start shorting here. Then we made our way all the way down. So risk to reward on the longs was not great. Broken area, that is not structure. So now we're working on our first entry short, second entry short, right? This is potentially going to be a second entry short. So we have a lot of room below, right? We have this little gap here that didn't fill. Maybe go retest that. We have our EMA right here. So daily, I was looking short, right? I was looking short all the way up here. And you know what? I was being met with 0 sellers. Open interest was decreasing while price is moving higher, and open interest was slowly getting lower and lower and lower, right? Which means there were no new positions opening as price was moving higher. No new positions opening while price was moving higher. That signaled to me that this was profit taking all the way up, right? This was profit taking all the way up. We know sellers, the majority of sellers, have been getting rewarded. And if they're still holding, they're going to be holding and shorting at the bottom of the rollover. Gave us a very tight reward here for the longs. As you can see, daily, we're selling off, right? So now that we know that, right? Now that I know open interest was decreasing as price was moving higher, we just had to reach levels where longer time frame participants are going to be entering the markets. And clearly we're seeing it here as buyers chase above this area of not being structured. It is not structure. They're chasing after this trend line break. We need to come back and retest. Okay, we did test the top of the rollover range. Now we're selling off. Daily EMA. We have this trend line here. We have this trend line. So anybody chasing up here, RIP, GG's, nice try. This is kind of what I've been watching for price action. We are in peak week. We do have some data coming out this week as well. So let's get our daily chart out of here. Let's get our daily chart out of here. Few other things I do want to look at. We have developed some ranges up here near these highs. We are dancing at the midline of a range. We still have room to the bottom of the range here, right? So we do have room to the bottom of the range. But anytime I see a strong move up and into a range, we might be forming a larger time frame range here. We might be forming, like previously, which we've been seeing, we might be forming a larger time frame range, right? We could be forming this, but for now we do not have that. We have a range up above and a range below, right? We came down, we ranged, we broke above, and now we ranged here, right? So with that being said, a break below could give us a nice slingshot move up into our rollover range in this green area. This is our rollover range, right? So we could get ourselves a nice little slingshot up into there with earnings week. But remember, risk to reward, we have a lot more room below than we do above. So if you are going to be buying low, that's when I look at these deep pullbacks, right? We're going to need some sort of we have a move up into the range. I'm going to look for a deep pullback, buying somewhere down here, right? Find some sort of a failure pattern, and then we look above, but we would need to reclaim here, and on top of it, we could take whatever the move below, put it above, and that'll give us our target, right? So if we rotate lower here, right, I'm looking to maybe get a deep pullback. I'm not saying exactly where. I'm just charting this for mindset, right? A deep pullback. Down here, retesting this range would be ideal. Look at this range. It is a beautiful range to retest. And if we do, that's when I look for my setups. That's when I look for that V bottom into the grind. That, right? You could get the V bottom into the grind higher, or you can get the sellers trying, and they just cannot bring price lower, and then you go up higher. Add on the retest here of the breakout area, and then go higher, right? Because we could have a larger range, rotate below, and then slingshot up. Those are those slingshots. These are range-based markets. The thing is, we're just having a higher ATR recently. ATR has been very high, which means we've been having a larger daily move, which means these trades are giving you way more profit than normal. So don't be blinded by how big these daily candles are. Price action is fractal. It's the same on all time frames, right? Okay, now that we have that, let's zoom in a little bit more on a 4,000 tick chart. Let's see what we got today, right? Here's our ranges. Okay. At the midline, this breaks down. We're looking to come all the way down here to the 19,237. And then, you know what? That's a nice profit target. So if you were trading this breakdown, profit target here at the high of the range, profit target at the midline, profit target at the low of the range. Anytime, this is a beautiful fade of the range. Very nice price action we're getting there. Very, very nice price action. Now, let's go over to the tick charts. The 500 tick chart, right? This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is our rollover low, right? In this level. What did we do today? Came all the way up to it. We ticked right freaking to it, like literally like a 3 full point trade. I took this short here. I covered around London. You know, had I known we were going to do this, fine. But I was just looking for a London retest, which so happened to be at the orb levels as well, which we are going to bring up in a moment. Let's bring up the orb levels. Let's bring up the orb and the initial balance, right? That's what I use, the orb in the initial balance. So let's bring up this chart. All right, orb. So high a day is a breakout of orb. High a day is a breakout of orb, but also if you look at high a day, it is the retest of the rollover low, right? Massive selling, massive selling. You're expecting sellers there. Okay, now go back to it. That's right here. Orb traders tried to buy the breakout and it failed, right? That was a level we were watching on the tick charts. We did not utilize that. Terrible risk to reward. Terrible risk to reward buying the orb today. Terrible risk to reward. Massive sell-off below the orb. Reclaim and we're dancing. Buyers are trying to hold above, right? Look at our midline. Our midline in here is 19,541-ish, 19,540-ish. All right. That is our midline. As you can see, failing to break above. Now, if we go over to our tick chart, 19,040. Where is that? London high. My purple levels are my London high and my London low. Those are my key time frames when we have an ranging market overnight. Failed at London high, came down. So our sell-off bounced at London low, danced around here, which so happened to also be right here, right? This is around London low. Came up and we danced, right? We danced. Came up, midline of orb, failed. Midline of orb failed. Where is that as well? That is London high. Failed. London high. Failed. At the same time it's dancing around London high, it's playing around with the orb midline and the orb low. This is beautiful range-based trading for me, but it's also seeing that the sellers whack this down at a higher time frame level. Rollover range is above, which means the majority of positioning occurred during that rollover range was short because we've been going short in the market. We have yet to reclaim it. Now, from there, we start forming a slight bear flag, right? We start seeing this one rejected again, right? Came up, tried to hold the orb, rejected midline, came back down, came up, tried to hold the orb, rejected midline. Create ourselves a little trend line here. This last time, that was weak, right? They tried again. Third time was weak. And what we do, we stopped out those bulls, retest the breakdown level right there, and sold off. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful price action. Let's go back over to our trading screen here. And what do we do? This is our London high, which correlated on the day as the orb midline. This is around the orb low. And we broke down, reclaimed, we failed to hold above London low. And we broke the overnight session, the Asia low over here, right? Broke that, and now we're staying below that. Nice trending market. Now, if we go over to the initial balance, right, I like to use the initial balance and the orb. Try to give me the best overall sentiment on the day. So here we go with the initial balance, right? Initial balance high, all the way up here, whack down here, right? That formed our initial balance high, initial balance low. Rejecting at the midline of the initial balance, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Correlate that with our orb midline, our initial balance midline. On top of it, our London high rejecting after our failed breakout. Tried it twice, right? Beautiful, beautiful action today. This is just textbook action, right? Now, 19,386, this level here at 19,386. We are going to go to a daily chart here just to look. Now, let's see if we can kind of talk about this. All right. Remember on the daily chart, this is not structure. 19,386, not structure. I have a trend line going across, a horizontal trend line going across. This was part of my overall plan. Failures at the high. I had this posted on ES right here. Let's see where ES is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful right there on ES. Can't get any better than that, right? That failed above that high. That was part of my overall, what I was looking for. But let's get back to NQ here, right? So now that we broke below that, that's where the buyers were chasing, and they're trying to hold above, right? They're not able to hold above. Next area of liquidity I'm watching is the low of this session on Friday, which is around 19,220. But buyers are going to be trying to buy dips. Reason I say that is if we go over here to Bookmap, we have a clear level of liquidity down here at 19,000, and then we have a clear level up here at 19,625. 19,625 is about inside of the rollover range. So are we dancing here? Are they trying to hold price? But either way, we know 19,000 is down there. A lot of key areas down there that we're trying to get to. 19,200 and 19,215-ish, 220-ish is going to be a previous day liquidity. So if we take that out, it's kind of hard to be chasing short unless we take it out and we dance a little bit and then break down further. Either way, let's go to the hourly time frame here, right? Hourly has been slightly bullish. But what are we seeing on the hourly time frame, right? You ignore all my orb stuff. Let's take that off. We're going to ignore that. Got VWAP bands up there. All right, there we go. So as you can see, we danced, right? Buyers were trying to hold above this not structure zone that I keep freaking talking about. It's not structure. Buyers were trying to hold that for continued breakouts. Well, it's not structure, so anybody trying to buy here has a terrible risk to reward going into the rollover range. A lot of room below. Look at this hourly imbalance here. So now we're going to start looking at these imbalances. Are they going to try to break down? Or are they going to hold this imbalance? Either way, though, let's kind of zoom back out. Let's zoom back out. So we have a nice trend line, a trend zone going down. Nice trending structure here. coming down. Right, you see that? What did we do? We broke it. What do we got to do? We got to come back and retest it. What else do we have here? The area here. What else do we have? We have a gap that might fill down here. I am bearish, and I have been bearish all the way on these moves up. These moves up, I've been bearish. I'm looking to come all the way back down, retest this 18,360 level, as well as the 17,700-ish, right? That's what I'm looking for. I want to see this gap get filled. This gap get filled. Either way, earnings, big data coming up, big areas of liquidity on Bookmap finally peeking its head out. These areas, the 400, the 600, we didn't see anything like this until we reached these levels up here, which goes to show me that long-term participants, bigger traders, are not participating in these markets with the markets grinding higher. They were taking some profits. A lot of people were taking profits on this grind up here, this move up. Right? This move up, the pullback, move up. I don't like it. So, like I said, we might go sideways up here, try, roping those bulls, and then go lower. We do have the range above. We will get rid of this. We do have the rollover range above. That is a very, very, very big target, but look at this grind, right? Look at this grind. This is the grind we're talking about. This is the grind. The pop and the grind, pullback. Okay, that was a good entry for longs, but it just does not look pretty. I would like to see some of these levels down here, like the 19,000 level retested. Breakout retest zones down here in the 18,800 levels. Either way, I'm still bearish. I see zero reason long term to be expecting higher price action. If it happens, it happens. But the way I look at the market, with open interest, with participation, with it being more of an auction versus anything else, buyers just got, that breakout yesterday, this range here. All these buyers are now starting to feel the heat as price is moving lower. Let's get Bookmap off. Sorry about that. And we'll bring my trading screen up. Yeah, so all these buyers up here, look at this. All these buyers up here are starting to feel the pain, right? Starting to feel the pain. Here we go. This would be leg number 2. 19,191. This is the breakdown leg. So we might utilize the breakdown leg. And then I'll ignore the second leg. I'm going to have to figure out, I'm going to have to do a little charting. Ignore the second leg, 19,080-ish, give or take. Yeah, so we got a lot of levels below, right? But, remember, we are inside of this range. We're expecting buyers to make attempts. Buyers have been buying dips. Buyers think markets only go up. Buyers think markets only go up. So when the buyers, get rewarded by just buying any freaking dip all the way up, buying any dip, buying big dip. Anytime buyers are buying dips like this in a market with open interest decreasing and prices moving higher into higher time frame levels, this is a higher time frame level. Same thing. Sellers went into a higher time frame level, right? Range here, higher time frame, bounce back into the range. We're looking to break out the range, retest the range. Key area right here. What I'm looking for. I want to buy down in this area. And this is zone. Otherwise, we continue to grind higher into the rollover range. I'm still bearish until we reach the rollover range. If we reach the rollover range and I see an increase in open interest and then a breakout of the range, and open interest is continuing to increase, right? then, then I'm actually bullish, right? Break out the range, open interest increase, stay increased, and continue increasing as the move goes higher. Now I'm bullish. But until then, I'm bearish. It is what it is. Buyers have reached some objectives on the day, right? This range, like I said, this range high, this range midline, the range low. These are all areas that buyers are trying to reach. We will take a swing here. We will take this swing long-term wise, and we're going to move it over here. We're going to take this, bring it to the high, copy and paste that, bring this below. Just to see how far it brings us down. Where does it bring us? Into this range down here. So yeah, we got a lot going on here. A lot going on here. We got a lot of targets below. Long-term wise, down here, 17,200 in this range is something that I'm looking at. So I got short-term targets. I got longer time frame targets. Now, what do you see here? You see the range rotating above and below. We're gonna do something real quick, and this is just for my sentiment, right? We have the range rotating above, below, above, and if we do come below, what does that form? Whoops. Do this again. Right? You have the range below, range above, range below, range above. Now, if we do come down to this level here, you're going to see what is called a broadening wedge. A broadening wedge, which is a range-based market that rotates around this level here. So with that being said, we're going to duplicate this window. And then we are going to take the majority of things off of here, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at potentially. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but we're trying to figure out the price action. And like I said, markets are fractal. All of this is fractal. What's going to happen on a smaller time frame is going to happen on a higher time frame. Sellers are still taking this. Beautiful freaking entry on the high. I was screaming it from the mountaintop earlier today. All right, now that we got this off, if we do get ourselves a nice broadening wedge, are we going to get ourselves a nice broadening wedge? And if so, where is the broadening wedge? That is something that I'm going to be looking at, right? I'm going to say it hasn't formed yet. We haven't formed yet. Let's make this like a nice yellow color to make it obvious. It hasn't fully formed because we got to get more range rotations. Make it gold. We got to get some more range rotations. But so far, we're rotating around the range. Like I've been calling this entire market is range-based markets. Previously I was saying, I think I posted it somewhere else, but, we might be forming a higher, larger range, which we did break out, but nothing better than a range break and then rotation. Look at this nice bearish move. We're down to 270 on the day. Nice. 220. Previous day low level, which we're looking for that to get taken out. So I'm going to kind of keep this on my chart. I'm just going to minimize it, and I'll revisit this one of these days just to see. Are we rotating around this range? Starting to see it, right? Rotate above, rotate below, rotate above, rotate below. This is begging to get retested down here. Begging. This is target. Begging to get retested. We do got to get below here because we could be forming a bigger range in this area. Either way, beautiful price action. Hopefully you guys made some money on this. But yeah, that's my bias. That's my sentiment. That's everything that I have to give right now with this market. Let's see. Are we reaching target here? A little bit more. A little bit more. Remember, 19,220 is previous day low. That's down here. Previous day low. 19,220-ish. Is it 220? 215-ish down here in this level. We're going to watch that. Previous day low. Are we going to dance? Either way, this is a range. Don't be trading in the range expecting monster moves. Look at our EMA on the 10,000 tick. It's way up there. Let's go to our 4,000 tick. Where's our EMA? EMA is at the high of the range, so kind of hard to be short in this far away from the EMA, right? Kind of hard to be short in this far away from the EMA. These are beautiful breakout retests, though. This is our range. Breakout, retest. So yeah, buyers are going to try to come in, but the next level of liquidity is down here. Previous day low, 215-ish. Bottom of the range, 235. Target, dance at the midline. Don't be entering trades here, right? Don't be entering trades here. All right, that's it I got. That's all I got. Good luck, guys. Hopefully this makes sense. And see you another time.